is the number one mistake I see new people trying to get into Airbnb. The cities, picking the wrong market, Airbnb cities. If you pick the wrong market, the wrong city, you are dead in the water. And this is the number one reason why people trying to get into Airbnb fail. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you 10 cities that I would absolutely stay away from for multiple reasons. And then at the end of the video, I'm also going to share with you 15 cities that I believe are absolutely stunning right now, where people are crushing it, my students are crushing it, and the areas that I would look to get into if I was in those areas, or even if you're like, you know what, I would like to venture out to other cities, and I'll tell you the benefits of going to those cities. But first, let me say this. You have to understand in Airbnb that it's a hospitality business, right? So if you guys are thinking about getting into Airbnb, or maybe you're in Airbnb, think about this business like a hotel. A hotel has people coming in and out all day long, right? Multiple times per day. It's the same thing with Airbnb. This is not like taking a traditional tenant and just kind of throwing them into one of your properties for a year or two. You have to understand a few metrics. One is the location is the most important, just like in any real estate. You've always heard this, location, location, location. Well, especially on Airbnb, because if people are not coming in to the city and in that particular area of the city, what's gonna happen is you are going to not make money. Let me give you an example. And this is why the majority of people fail in Airbnb in their first year. It's called property and market research. And it's a simple, fancy way of saying this. If you don't have enough occupancy or guests, heads in beds, you're not making the money that you need to pay the rent, or if you bought the property, pay the mortgage. So let me give you an example. Let's say the rent is $2,000 a month. Okay, you guys are good at math, that's why you're here. By the way, please give me a thumbs up on this video and subscribe to the channel, because I come to you every single day to give you all the tips, tricks, and strategies on you need to get into Airbnb arbitrage. And for you guys that don't know what that means, let me just give you a 30-second rendition. All it means is this: instead of buying a property to put in Airbnb, we're gonna rent a property and get the landlord's permission and put it on Airbnb. So you can get 5, 6, 7 rental properties in the same time and money on average that it would cost for you to get into purchasing a property, and you can rent properties. You can 5x the amount of production that you can get by going with rental arbitrage. When I found this out, I was like, are you kidding me? I don't have to buy property. I can actually just rent it from a landlord, get their permission, and put it on Airbnb. Wow. And that's where we started building the portfolio. So let's use the scenario of $2,000 a month. Let's say you find a nice 2-bedroom, 2-bath, $2,000 a month for rent. Now again, you guys are smart. That's why you're here, and that's why you've subscribed, because I really appreciate you. If it's $2,000 a month and you have your utilities, let's call it another $200 a month for even illustration purposes, okay? You've rented a place for $2,000 from a landlord. Now, let's say for the month of March, for sake of just giving you a month, that you brought a total of 5 guests in, okay? Let's say total of 5 guests in. Now you have a $2,000 rent payment to the landlord plus your utility, so $2,200 bucks, okay? Now, you brought 5 guests in, and for illustration purposes, we're gonna say that each guest paid you $200 a night to stay at your place. That's called your ADR, average daily rate. So let's say you were charging $200 bucks a night. You brought a total of $1,000 in for the month of March. 5 guests, each paid you $200 bucks, total of $1,000. Let me ask you a question. Where do you think the other $1,000 comes from? We're not even talking about the utilities yet. Where do you think the other $1,000 comes from to pay the landlord if you brought $1,000 in and your rent payment is $2,000? Yep, you guessed it. Comes right out of the old pocket. And I don't know about you guys, but not a lot of people like losing $1,000 per month to get into a business. This is why most people fail in their first year. They picked the wrong property, the wrong market, because Uncle Joe said he had a property and he let you put it on Airbnb and you thought, woohoo, let's do it. Terrible mistake. Or you found a property, didn't do any research, didn't do any due diligence, didn't have any paid software to check the numbers, and you just jumped into it because anybody with a heart rate can get into Airbnb. There's no requirements. Okay, so what I'm gonna share with you right now are 10 cities that I would absolutely stay away from. And this is a lot of work and due diligence on our part as a team here that we've done for you so that you don't have to get into these markets and be part of the large percentage of people that fail. And like I said, I'm gonna finish with 15 great cities and markets that are doing really well right now in 2024. That being said, let's start with the first city, and that is San Francisco, California. Okay, not a great market, very regulation heavy, probably would stay away from that. Let's go to number 2, and that is New York City. Okay, the city of Manhattan itself has also banned Airbnb to allow any short-term rentals to be in their city. Number 3, and that is Las Vegas. Okay, now there are areas that are still okay, like the Henderson area, which is, kind of northeast of Las Vegas Strip. But there are a lot of regulations there in Las Vegas, and I would probably just stay away from that city. In general, they want to keep people on the Strip, okay, and get the money into the hotels versus Airbnbs. Let's go to San Diego for a minute. San Diego now is 30 days. There's a 1% chance you're going to get an STR, short-term rental, in San Diego. There are areas like Mission Bay where 30% of people can still get a short-term rental, but San Diego itself is not a good Airbnb, not a good short-term rental place right now. Let's go to Los Angeles. Los Angeles as well. There are very high restrictions. The cost is very outrageous, and it's just not a good city. Okay, let's go to this one. That is Dallas, Texas. In March of 2023, Dallas, Texas was one of the first cities that actually said, you know what? We are banning Airbnbs. Okay, now if you're grandfathered in and you have an apartment, you're going to be okay, but residential areas can no longer do Airbnb in the city of Dallas. Okay, so those are a couple there. Let's go to Des Moines. Okay, Des Moines, Ohio. Also, I'm giving you ones, guys, where the restrictions are heavy. And what I mean by that is this: you're going to have issues with HOA, you're going to have issues with zoning in the city. Okay, and then the city's going to be a pain, and there's going to be a thorn in your know what, and then you're likely to not get. And even if you did it, sneak it in there. Never recommend that, where you just get it up there and you don't tell anybody, you don't get your permit or your license, and then next thing you know, Karen's knocking on the door. Okay, the city's coming down there and shutting down your Airbnb and shutting down your platform, your business is done. It's just a waste of time. Okay, so stay away from these cities I'm talking about. Santa Monica, California, another one. California in general, I do have a city or two that I'm going to give you on the good side. Generally, California is very heavy on restrictions and fees, and unlikely to approve a lot of the short-term rentals like Airbnb, VRBO bookings. New Orleans is another one, very heavy restriction, and unlikely for you to get started in that city. And lastly, and that is going to be Sarasota, Florida. Definitely don't recommend Sarasota. Okay, again, they're just heavy regulated, and you're going to have issues with it. Why not stay with the cities that I'm going to give you right now, where you can actually be okay? Now, they may require a permit, and a permit is simple. There's a place online for that city. If you just Google these words, Airbnb regulations for, put in the city, and they'll be able to pop you up a form, and you'll be able to see the form where you can just apply for the license or permit. Usually, sometimes it takes 2 to 3 days. Sometimes it takes 2 weeks if they're backed up. But basically, they send you something in the mail saying you're now approved for STR. Okay, you want the one. If you own the property, you're going to want a owner-occupied permit. If you do not own the property, like if you're doing rental arbitrage, where we're renting from a landlord, you want the non-owner occupied, and the owner would actually apply. Let's talk about some good cities. Let's start by saying Waco, Texas. What a gem. Who would have thought that Waco, Texas would be good? Now, let me tell you why some of the cities that are good that I'm going to give you, okay? They're good because most of these are not right there in the hub. For example, you've got Houston, Texas, right? I'm just giving you some major cities. Miami, Houston, Chicago. These are major, busy, heavy cities. What you want to do is you want to go about the 20 to 30 mile at the most around the major cities. Why? Because these cities, Atlanta, Chicago, Miami, are saturated. They got a lot of people in Airbnb. And unless you're unbelievable at the core, you're going to get beat by people that are doing this like, boom, right? Like they're good. And so you're competing with a lot of people. Let's not compete. Let's go with about a 10, 20, 30-minute drive at the most outside of the main city. And people will just stay there and they'll just travel in. You're going to do a lot better, okay? So Waco, Texas, Jacksonville, Florida, that's where I'm at, okay? Unbelievable market. Second largest city in America, huge city, growing population, and just an opportunity of a lifetime to come here and start a short-term rental business. By the way, you do not have to be in the city. This is the biggest misconception people have. They think you have to actually be in the city that they live in to do an Airbnb, okay? I have videos on this, guys. If you find YouTube videos, I have actual videos where I talk about this exact thing, where you do not have to be in your backyard. You can run a business and have an Airbnb in China if you live in Florida, because you're going to run this entire business from a cell phone. you're not going to your property. We'll show you exactly how to do that, how to do the cleaners, how to do your, maintenance crew there if needed, and really how just to run it as a turnkey business from your cell phone, okay? Let me give you a couple more. I will say Atlanta, Georgia, the outskirts of Atlanta, Georgia are really, really good. There's Ellijay, Georgia. I'll tell you Savannah, Georgia, Gatlinburg, Tennessee, Chattanooga, Tennessee, El Paso, Texas. Texas is on fire right now, okay? Outside of Dallas, San Antonio's great. Again, Houston's great, but you want to be on the outskirts. That's why I said, Waco, Texas. You got Montgomery, Texas. You got Conroe. These are just cities that are outside, but they're just doing really well, right? Did I say Nashville, Tennessee? On fire right now. Great, great city. St. Augustine, Florida, right? Savannah, Georgia. Guys, these markets are strong. I'm telling you something. And by the way, when we're talking about California, I love Santa Clarita and Calabasas. I hope I'm saying that right. Calabasas. And in Florida also, you want to look at places like Fort Lauderdale. It's another strong market, okay? These are cities that I would be looking into, okay? All you're going to do is take the cities I just gave you on the good list, go to airdna.co, okay? My students get the software. I pay $2,000 a year for it, and they get it for free. But you would go there. Do not get the free software. Is one thing you learned from this video. Don't get free software. Another thing you might have learned from this video is how to hit the subscribe button, because it means the world to me and my organization and our team here that you subscribe, so that way you can get the daily stuff and I can give you all the tricks and strategies you can blow up, okay? Hit the like button. But these are some cities. You have to understand. Here's another really important thing I'm going to leave you guys with this. Why would you want to get a 1-bedroom or a studio, a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom versus a 4 or 5 or 6? Look at it this way. The smaller the bedroom on the property, let's say you're going to rent a studio or a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom, you're going to attract more of the travel nurses, the doctors, the chiropractors, and the people that want to stay close to the hospital, right? You're going to attract more of a, single person, right? Generally not going to be in a 4 or 5-bedroom, have a travel nurse or a doctor or a chiropractor, right? Or someone that's in a hospital. You want the smaller places. The lane that I play in is the travel nurse, the doctors, the chiropractors, and the people that are trying to stay close to someone that's going in surgery, which is why my properties are very close in proximity to major hospitals. If you're going with bigger properties, you're going to have more people that are like relocating, right? Maybe they're going from state to state and they've taken the whole family there to need a larger place. You got insurance, right? Someone has a house fire or a flood, God forbid. They want to take their whole family, they want to move it out of the house, and they want to basically, while their house is being rebuilt, they need a whole place to stay. You also have vacations, right? Think about someone who's coming with their family to go to Disney, or coming with their family to go see, national parks. You're going to need something like a 4 or 5-bedroom, right? You've got parties, receptions. You've got, big events, right? Bachelorette parties. These are the kind of places you're going to want with a 4 or 5 or 6 or bigger places. So just think about that. Look at the areas you're in, right? Why would people be coming into it? If I said, for example, Ellijay, Georgia, right? It's a woody cabiny area. You would think that a 3 or 4 or 5-bedroom would be better, right? Yes, you are correct. But, excuse me, what if I said somewhere like, Jack's Beach, Florida, which right by Mayo? Well, then you're looking at a major hospital. It's an unbelievable hospital. People are coming in to stay next to their loved one. They would like to stay in a nice place versus a rinky-dink hotel. So boom, you're going to need something like a studio or a 1-bedroom. So think about the clientele. This video is very important for the clientele. Smaller places, you're going to get more of probably the higher quality people. And these are what we call more base hits. Where if you do get something like this in Santa Clarita, California, you would have picked up a 4 or 5-bedroom, you're going to be attracting people that are looking for parties, looking for events, birthday parties, bachelorette parties, right? These are going to be more of your clientele in these bigger places. So money-wise, you can get a couple base hits, or you could get, one big one. It just depends on where you're comfortable. My job is to help you mitigate the risk and help you every step of the way to getting your first, second, or 10th Airbnb by increasing your occupancy and increasing your ADR and giving you the tips, tricks, and strategies for the SEO, which is in your title and your description and your pictures to make it attractive for your guest. If you guys need help at all, put the word Airbnb in comments. I'll reach out to you directly. I got you. Okay, as always, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, share it with somebody you love, and I will see you guys on the inside. Let's roll.